Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the podcast. And today I'm going to go my review of Monday Night Raw. Starting off the night, we have Gunther coming out to the ring. Gunther grabs a microphone. He talks about Finn Balor. After that, Finn and the Judgment Day show up. Finn has a microphone and says Dom didn't deserve a title shot. Finn says at Saturday night's main event, he will walk out world's heavyweight champion. After that, Gunther says that Finn didn't earn a title shot. Gunther then mocks Finn. Gunther says that Finn has played second fiddle to Damian Priest. Gunther then says that Finn is not on his level. After that, Judgment Day rushed the ring. Priest is here. Priest attacked the Judgment Day. Gunther then attacks Priest. Gunther then goes to put Priest through the announce table, but Finn attacks Gunther. Finn then hits a coup de grace on Gunther, and then Finn hits 3 coup de grace on Damian Priest. After that, Adam Pearce announced that it would be Gunther versus Balor versus Priest at Saturday night's main event for the World Heavyweight title. Moving on from that, we go into our first official match of the night. It is the Final Testament and Miz taking on the Wyatt Six. I thought it was a good match, man. It was a back-and-forth matchup between both teams with the Wyatt Six keeping the pace of the match. Nikki Cross then attacks Scarlett from behind. Uncle Howdy then goes to apply the mandible claw on the Miz. But Paul Ellering is back. He throws powder on Uncle Howdy. And then Cross hits the final prayer. And your winners of the match are the Final Testament. Hats off to the Final Testament for getting the win in this matchup. Moving on from that, we have a Punk segment. Punk's backstage being interviewed. Punk was asked about the secret, or the favor that he was supposed to get from Paul Heyman. Doesn't mention the secret or the favor. Punk asked about Rollins. Punk says that he doesn't have hate for Rollins. Punk then talks about the history with Seth Rollins, and then Punk says Rollins wanted Punk to train him for free. Some interesting stuff there from CM Punk. Moving on from that, we go into our next match of the night. It's Dakota Kai taking on Liv Morgan. I thought it was a good match, back and forth matchup between Dakota Kai and Liv Morgan, with Dakota Kai keeping the pace of the match. Pure Fusion Collective, or ringside, Dakota Kai attacks Pure Fusion Collective. Liv goes for a top rope maneuver, but Kai counters it into a powerbomb. But Liv hits the Oblivion on Dakota Kai, pins for the 3, and your winner of the match is Liv Morgan. After the match, the Pure Fusion Collective attacked Dakota Kai. Damage Control was here. Damage Control attacked Pure Fusion Collective, and then Liv Morgan attacks Io Sky with an Oblivion. Moving on from that, we have a Drew McIntyre segment. Drew talks about Hell in a Cell. Drew says that he had to return home back to Scotland. Drew then talks about Survivor Series. He also mentions that Sami Zayn, Jay, and Jimmy have sold out. So it looks like Drew McIntyre was indeed the person that attacked Jey Uso backstage last week on Monday Night Raw. Moving on from that, we have a Seth Rollins segment. Seth Rollins comes out to the ring, grabs a microphone. He mocks CM Punk. Rollins then says that he did go to Punk for training. Rollins said that he's pissed with Punk because when Punk left, CM Punk ghosted him. Rollins says that he came back because that he wanted to pretty much be the top guy for Monday Night Raw and not CM Punk. After that, Zayn is here. Zayn says that he was wrong for blaming Rollins last week. Rollins then says he wants to know why Sami blamed him for the attack on Jay. Zayn says that Rollins acted like Drew McIntyre. Zayn then asks Rollins if they're good. Rollins says yeah. And then it looks like we'll have Zayn versus McIntyre for Saturday night's main event. After that, Zayn walks back up the ramp, but he's quickly attacked by Drew McIntyre. Moving on from that, we go into our next match of the night. It's a triple threat match for the Women's Intercontinental Tournament. It's Ivy Nile taking on Lyra Valkyria and Zelina Vega. I thought it was a good match, back and forth matchup with Lyra keeping the pace of the match, and Lyra ultimately hits the finish, pins for the 3, and your winner of the match and moving on in the Women's Intercontinental Tournament is Lyra Valkyria. Hats off to Lyra Valkyria for getting the win in this matchup. Moving on from that, we have a New Day segment. Woods follows Kofi holding a camera. New Day get out to the ring. They're getting booed out of the building by the fans. Fans say they want Big E. New Day then said they did nothing wrong to Big E. And because the boos were so bad, the New Day walk off. Some interesting stuff there from the New Day. Moving on from that, we go into our next match of the night. It's the main event of Monday Night Raw. It's a no disqualification matchup. It is Rhea Ripley taking on Raquel Rodriguez. I thought it was a good match, back and forth matchup between Ripley and Rodriguez, with Ripley keeping the pace of the match. Ripley then hits Raquel with a trash can. Raquel then gets up, hits Rhea with a kendo stick. Raquel then hits a fallaway slam over the announce table on Ripley. Ripley then hits Raquel with a chair shot. Liv Morgan is here. Rhea then attacks Liv, but Liv gets up and hits an Oblivion on Rhea. Io then attacks Liv, which allowed Rhea to hit a Riptide on Raquel Rodriguez through a table. Pins for the 3, and your winner of the match is Rhea Ripley. Hats off to Rhea Ripley for getting the win in that matchup. Besides everything with Monday Night Raw last night, man, before I get the hell up out of here, let's talk about Monday Night Raw and what really was going on with Raw last night. I thought it was a good show, man, to be honest with you. I mentioned this with my SmackDown review, that, there's really nothing that I can truly complain about. I think Raw and SmackDown are firing all cylinders as far as storylines are concerned, and a lot of build-up towards Saturday night's main event. In my honest opinion, I think Saturday night's main event is going to be a great show. I think the entire card is absolutely stacked, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. I mentioned for my Friday night SmackDown that we're going to have Jesse the Body Ventura a part of this year's Saturday night's main event. He will be on the announce team, which is pretty special considering the fact that Jesse the Body Ventura was a part of the inaugural first ever Saturday night's main event, being a part of the commentary team back in 1987. So it's a big deal to have Jesse the Body Ventura back for this year's Saturday night's main event. And like I said, the card is absolutely stacked. Speaking of the card, I know there's a couple matches that I do know of on the card. We have Cody Rhodes defending the Undisputed Championship against Kevin Owens. Obviously, there's a lot of hostility there between Rhodes and Owens. And Owens is trying to do everything he can in his power to dethrone Cody Rhodes and win the Universal title. The other match that I know of is Liv Morgan defending the Women's World title against Io Sky. That's definitely going to be an interesting matchup there between Liv and Io Sky. We also have a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. It will be Gunther defending the World Heavyweight title against Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Definitely looking forward to that matchup. It's going to be a tall tale task for Gunther to walk out Saturday night's main event retaining the World Heavyweight Championship. Other match that was announced was Sami Zayn taking on Drew McIntyre. That's definitely going to be a really good matchup. Obviously, there's some hostility there between Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn as well. And I'm sure there's going to be some other matches announced. There's also going to be the finals of the Women's U.S. title tournament. I believe that will also be at Saturday night's main event this weekend on Saturday night. Definitely looking forward to that. That will be on NBC and Peacock as well this Saturday night. Definitely looking forward to that. But, Monday Night Raw, man, it was stacked. I think it was a good card for Monday Night Raw. Obviously, the build-up towards Saturday night's main event has been great, in my honest opinion. I'm definitely looking forward to the event. I think also it will not be the first and last for Saturday night's main event. I also found out that there will be another Saturday night's main event taking place in January, so definitely looking forward to that as well. Looks like the Saturday night's main event will be a staple, if you will, moving forward for WWE, which I'm definitely looking forward to. The other interesting part about Monday Night Raw was the main event. Rhea Ripley taking on Raquel Rodriguez in a no disqualification match. Number one, I thought it was a good match for Ripley. I think they said this was the first match Ripley had on Raw since January, which is crazy to think about. And number two, what happened at the end of the match? Ripley hit the Riptide on Raquel Rodriguez through the table in the middle of the ring. Got the pinfall, but then after the match, you can see Ripley and Io Sky in the middle of the ring holding up the Women's World Championship. So, again, there's a lot of questions there with Rhea Ripley. I mean, obviously, Rhea Ripley wants the title back, the title that she, pretty much had to forego after she got injured. And obviously, she wants that championship back from Liv Morgan. She had, a couple opportunities to beat Liv for that belt. So, it does look like, if I had to guess, it looked like Rhea Ripley will challenge Liv Morgan for that championship if Liv successfully beats Io Sky at Saturday's main event. Looks like there might be a title match up for Raw's debut on Netflix, January 6th, I believe, where we might see a matchup between Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan for the Women's World title. That's just my honest opinion, and I think that this might what happen come January 6th for Netflix. But I'm excited, man. Like I mentioned this multiple times in the past, man. I think what the main roster is doing right now is fantastic. From storyline base right now with the Bloodline to Cody and Kevin Owens. Definitely looking forward to that matchup at Saturday night's main event. The PLEs are absolutely incredible as of late for WWE. I think WWE is firing on all cylinders, man. I really can't complain with the outcome of Raw and SmackDown. I mean, and obviously the other big question for a lot of people is what Michael Cole mentioned last week on SmackDown, where, there's going to be this, interchange, if you will, with talent from NXT to Raw and SmackDown. I think that obviously that has a lot to do with Raw going to Netflix next month. Obviously they want, Raw wants a lot of, top tier talent to be a part of that show, especially with them having their new home on Netflix. So it looks like Raw and SmackDown and possibly NXT are going to start exchanging talent here, or NXT talent might move up to the main roster when the new year hits for 2025. So I'm definitely interested in that. We've seen a lot of talent, from whether it was, Raw talent on SmackDown being interviewed, from Nick Aldis to, Adam Pearce interviewing Tiffany Stratton backstage. And obviously she's a SmackDown talent. So it looks like, there's some feelers out there for talent to be exchanged from different sides of the brand, whether it's Raw or SmackDown, which I think is a great thing. Definitely shakes things up. I know some people, are kind of upset about it due to the draft and the roster split, but I think it's a good thing, man. Obviously, things have to be shaken up a little bit with, like I said earlier, with Raw going to Netflix starting January 2025, and I think it's going to be a great deal, not only for Monday Night Raw, but for WWE to be a part of Netflix moving forward in 2025. So I think there's a lot of things that are going to be in motion moving into 2025 for WWE, man. I mean, I think Becky Lynch is going to be a part of that first show on Netflix. The Rock is supposed to be there. I think Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes. That first show for Netflix on Raw is going to be absolutely stacked, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. But, like I said, man, there's not much I can say that's bad or negative, really, with the main roster, in my honest opinion. I think they're firing all cylinders right now. Obviously, the storylines and the build-up leading up to Saturday night's main event is absolutely incredible, in my honest opinion. And I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think Saturday night's main event, the card is absolutely stacked. I will be doing a review for Saturday night's main event. And I think you guys will probably get that either Sunday or no later than Monday next week. But I'm definitely looking forward to it, man. I think this is something that's going to be good for WWE. I'm always for, WWE bringing back a little nostalgia. I'm a big nostalgia guy myself as far as professional wrestling. So bringing back an event that's been synonymous with WWE and, and how important it was back then. I think, like I said, the first event was 1986, 1987 for the first inaugural Saturday night's main event to be showcased for television. So, I mean, again, this is going to be a good show. I think it's going to be a top show for WWE, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. Like I said, there's a lot of, top-tier matches on the card that I'm definitely looking forward to, and mainly Cody and Kevin. I think that's going to be a great matchup. Obviously, there's a lot of hostility there between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, and with the Universal title being on the line as well, it only makes the match even better. And like I said earlier, with Jesse the Body Ventura being a part of the announce team, it just makes it even more special for the event. Obviously, he was a part of the first ever Saturday night's main event, which I think took place in 1986 or 1987, if I'm not mistaken. So it definitely is going to be an interesting show, man, for sure. And I'm definitely looking forward to it. But like I said, long story short, Raw did not disappoint, in my honest opinion. Obviously the build-up leading towards Saturday night's main event has been good, in my honest opinion, and I'm definitely looking forward to this week's Saturday night's main event. But with that being said, this is my review of Monday Night Raw. I hope you guys are out there staying safe. Be careful, and remember, stay classic. Peace.